Hey, namaskaram, this is YunusPK and welcome to the volume 7 of my Rebuilding My Personality website YunusPK series. And in this video, we're gonna install whatever the JSON server. I'm gonna play my music, and this playlist is my secret fan energy. You can check out this music on my Spotify profile. And now, okay, so this is what my calendar looks like. Yeah, I slept a lot today from 2 a.m. to 2 p.m. It's literally 12 hours. And then we have load setting, so I was fixing fan because my aircon is not working. Then evening out, then some geopolitical stuff. I think I should also create geopolitical videos in this channel. And I don't know whether I should do that in this video, this channel or any other channel. I'm gonna look that up. And then we have coding session now. That's starting now. So what I'm gonna do is I have my Notion here. So create a JSON server and migrate data. So we're gonna create a JSON server. From the starting, we're gonna create okay, so here's the catch. Should we create a local JSON server or a hosted JSON server from the starting? Okay, the advantage of, okay, I'm gonna just write that down. Okay, in this page. Okay, I'm gonna do this, and here we have options for JSON server, and I will turn this into heading 2 probably. No problem. And we're gonna create maybe just numbered list or bulleted list. Okay, so first of all, we can create a localized JSON server, which is gonna be inside that okay, or we can write something like this, which will be in the inside the React project. Then we can create another localized JSON server, which will be a different node project. You should write a Node.js because the term node means literally computers. And another is hosted JSON server, which too will be a different Node.js project. So these are the 3 possibilities. Now I'm gonna write advantages of them. Okay, so we can create advantages like that. What are the advantages of them? Okay, advantages. So advantages are localized JSON server will be locally editable, easy to fix, I guess, when bugs comes. Easy to fix, easy to update as well. Okay, and okay, same VS Code environment or window, I would say. So basically when I'm opening a project, the React project on the VS Code, it's actually the db.json stays in that project. So it's like from the same VS Code window I can access the db.json. And okay, let's come here. What advantages do we have? Advantages. We first of all, we have all these three advantages here. Okay, we have all these three advantages, but not this one. So what are the disadvantages, by the way? Okay, disadvantages. So first disadvantage that will come for this one is that not hosted, therefore not work universal production app. Otherwise there's no problem. Otherwise there's no disadvantages. And this one, disadvantages are that one, only that one. This one is a disadvantage for this one. And there is another disadvantage, that is have to use different VS Code window. Alright, so that was the disadvantage. Okay, there is another advantage in this one, that is easy to migrate to a hosted server. And here what advantages we have in the hosted JSON server. Advantage, either way, for a hosted JSON server we have to create a localized JSON server, like this second one, this one, like which is a different node project. Then we have to push that in the GitHub, creating a separate node project. Advantages that remote server therefore will work in universal production app. This is the advantage. There is no other advantage. All the disadvantages that we have. Yeah, there's nothing else. Disadvantages. And see, I just put advantage here, not advantages, and there's only one advantage. That happened, it's just a coincidence. Okay, so now we have disadvantages that complex process for editing data, complex process for fixes, and yeah, that's it, I guess. These two are the disadvantages, which are actually big disadvantages, because we're gonna work we're gonna test a lot of things and do a lot of things here. So I think we should choose this second one, because it's kind of borderline between those two things, and it's also like easy to migrate to hosted data, a host server. So let's say when we're done and when we're like sending the app to the production, we can just change the URLs for the networking things. We can just change that URL and we can push then and this can be like, and like we can push that localized JSON server to another GitHub page, and we can use some service provider, like what that called is, I guess, just let me look it up. There is a service which allows JSON server to host, I guess, render. Yeah. The service is called render. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna create a different node project for this one. All right, let's do that. So what we're gonna do is, first of all, I'm gonna fire up my WSL, and man, like, development in Windows and the productivity has boosted a lot due to WSL. I mean, wow, just wow. And I'm also learning Docker, I guess. I mean, why is it, I guess I'm learning Docker, so when I'm gonna use Docker as well with WSL, like, that gonna be wow, just wow productivity in Windows. And also, like, we have great resources, like I have 24 gigs of RAM, man, and my computer, the setup is like only 60,000 rupees, which is sums around less than $1,000, and like the cheapest Apple laptop comes like a lot more than that in India, at least. So yeah, that's that too with just 8 gigs of RAM. I mean, for Apple, doesn't matter though, because 8 gigs a lot, but when it comes to development, we actually need that RAM. Okay, why I'm opening this one though? I'm not gonna open this. What we're gonna do is, I have portfolio and then YunusPK, and this is the project. So what I'm gonna do is, inside the portfolio folder, alright, so I'm gonna cd go back, and here I'm going to create another node project, and I would name it Megdir, maybe YunusPK server or YPK server, YPK server. Okay, YPK server, and we're gonna go to cd YPK server, and we're gonna fire up this thing in VS Code. It's downloading, let it download first, and then we're gonna switch the desktop. Alright, we got it. Now what do I have to do? I'm watching a video which is from Murnify, a channel called Murnify. I'm not gonna open that video in the recording, I just have that in my tablet. So I'm gonna see what he did. Alright, so he goes to a page that's JSON server token or something like that. JSON server auth. No, it's not that. It's JSON web token. Alright, we got it. JSON web token. I think it's something else. We want to like, no, it's not the thing. Why you went to JSON server? I mean, now we can just, okay, what is installing it? Let me see. Okay, I guess we have some documentation here. Right here. This is something that we have to create. Alright, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna first initialize the npm project, and also like I have to git init, right? So I'm just git init first, and now we're gonna npm init, I guess dash y. I got it. Probably we have to install, do we have to npm. Okay, what I'm gonna do is we got an index.js here, so I have to create the index.js here. So touch index.js and also touch dot get ignore, and I'll open the get ignore and add node modules. We do not have node modules yet, but eventually I guess we're gonna have. Now I have to npm install JSON server. Yeah, now we have the node modules. And I guess now here in the index.js we can do something like we can just go to this server.js. We can copy that entire thing and paste it here, and it's JSON server and require JSON server, which we already have, and then server JSON server create router JSON router db.json. So we have to create a db.json here. So new file db.json, and okay, I'm gonna first initialize some data here. So it's gonna be the top hierarchy would be a object, and you can also do array, but I'm gonna go with object because now we can have different kind of data. So the first data might be something like, okay, let's think what kind of data we need. So for that I'm going to open up XD so that I have some visuals of the project. Alright, so we're not gonna have any backend here. Probably we're gonna have some images or something, but I guess we cannot include images here. Can we? I don't know, I have to look for that. How to read up the topic. We can have I don't think we should have these things in the backend. Like these are like, well, we can though. Okay, let's say about every page. What about like we have the data for every page here, and then inside the data also we're gonna have data for the page and also data for these widgets or sections. Like there's about page and there's about section, so both the data are gonna be different, little bit of different but different. So we can do that, or we can just have all the text at a place, all the media at a place. No, I think we should do on the pages or on the features kind of. Okay, so we're gonna do like in the intro page or in the intro section. Why do I have an intro here? That should be home. Anyways, this is the home. So for home we actually do not need any data, do we? I don't think so. If we need, we're gonna make that later one. But for the about, let's say for the about, we're gonna have a data called about. Okay, and that about gonna be another object, and inside that object we're gonna have either about section or okay, we can a widget. We're gonna have a widget, and that gonna be another object, and then we're gonna have page, and that gonna be another object. In the widget, what are you gonna have? In widget, we're just gonna have image, heading, and like, should we make everything backend, like also these headings? I don't think so. I really don't think so. Like, I think only this paragraph should be on the back end. Or maybe the link. No, not the link as well. Like, these are front end features. The image. Yeah, probably the image we can do. The image and this one. Okay, these two gonna be here. And image also, like the URL only. Okay, so in the widget there will be two things: image, which will be a URL, and another would be description or paragraph. We should have para. That's a para. Okay, and para, just it. Okay, para. And I'm just gonna copy this entire para. Okay. Okay. We cannot have it like that. We have to have it in a one line. That's not a problem at all. I can have it in a one line. Alright, so what we have now? Okay, we got another line here. Okay. What's the problem now? What's the problem? Okay, we only have this one. Alright. Alright, so now we have everything in one line. And I gotta put a comma if I'm gonna give any other data field. So what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna just put it in the top, and I'm gonna remove this comma, and I'm gonna put a comma here so that I do not have to scroll later. Okay, I just put a comma there, and now if I have to like create other data fields here, I'm just gonna put a comma here. So there we have. In the page, we don't know what we got here right now, but this is what we have right now. That's good enough for now. We will create the data later one. First we have to like create everything here. So now in the package.json, I guess we would have another command that would be, I would say, start server. And that would be node index.js. Yeah, index.js. And we also have to specify, I guess, port. How are we gonna do that? Probably in the index.js. Yeah, index.js we have 3000. I'm gonna put 3005 or 3010. 3010. I'm gonna put 3010. 3007. I'm just gonna be a little bit off. Like, okay, I can do like 3003. I guess you don't know why I put that number, cause okay, just let me. Okay, can you see it? If you can see this, that why I put this port number 3003, tell me in the comments. Tell me in the comments if you can understand why. Like, I'm giving you hints. Well, I'm giving you hints. Here's a hint. Here's one hint. Here's another hint. Here's one hint. Here's the second hint. All right, that's it. That's it. Okay, that's enough. If you understand why, tell me in the comments. All right. Now we have JSON server is running. JSON server is running in port. Okay, why? I'm gonna put it here. All right. Should we try to do that now? npm start server. Okay, we gotta do like npm start and start server. Oh, npm run start server. Server is running on port 3003. We're gonna see if we can get that. Localhost 3003. Yes, we get that. And we got this about the resources that we have about, and about we have this. Okay, our JSON server is actually working. That's pretty awesome. So let's say I'm going to about /widget. We get nothing. Why we get nothing? Widget. Do you have any /widget/ we get nothing? But why? We get about and then widget and para. We get nothing. Why? I don't know. That's a little bit of weird, but anyways, I know anyway that this gonna work. Alright, so we got on the 3003. Okay, one thing that I'm gonna do right now. Okay, we're gonna have that JSON server here. No, do we even need it? Maybe we can just see our... No, we actually don't need this thing. So I'm gonna do one thing. I'm gonna stop the server and I'm gonna go here and in the package.json I'm gonna change the command to just server. So it's gonna be like npm run server, not npm run start server. So you're gonna be like npm run server. Right, we got our server running, and now we can also push that server, right? So that I'm gonna do. Okay, so I'm gonna do that right now. So we're gonna go to this thing. We're gonna create a new repo, and I'm gonna call it YPK server. YPK server, or should I name it something like what? Like I'm gonna search creative server names. Crisis maker, literally crisis maker. Okay, I'm gonna give it a Sanskrit name. What Sanskrit name? Okay, data, information. I guess information is gonna called Tathya. Information. Suchna. I'm gonna search for data. Tathya. That was Datta. That's actually a creative name. Datta. Datta. Data. Datta. Apaksat. Oh, these are really big names. Dattanidhi. Dattanidhi. Database. Oh, Dattanidhi. Dattanidhi. Dattanidhi database. YPK Dattanidhi or YPK Datta. YPK Dattanidhi, YPK Datta, Dattanidhi Datta. These names are good. Datta Graha. Yeah. Datta Sagraha. Datta Sangraha. Datta Sangraha. Sangraha. Sangrahak. Datta Sangrahak. Okay, let's spell that out. Not spell that out, just put it here. Datta Sangrahak. Datta Sangrahak. Dattanidhi, I guess Dattanidhi. Dattanidhi. YPK Dattanidhi. YPK Dattanidhi. Should I have a dash? Okay, instead of dash, I'm gonna put YPK Datta Nidhi. Now we can put a dash, probably an underscore, and YPK gonna be YPK Dattanidhi. YPK Dattanidhi. Underscore or dash. This looks cool. A database for, okay, database for YunusPK. And I'm gonna put the URL here, https://github.com/yunuspervez-khan/YunusPK. Yeah, that's it. So just created YPK underscore Dattanidhi. That's a cool name, man. That's a really cool name. All right. Get remote add, or should I add origin or cloud? I would say origin. Get remote add origin, and get, we can use our alias feature. It's a feature, not it's a initialize server with bare minimum data model. Okay, we're gonna push it. Okay, we have to set up stream. So get push set, we're gonna create main here, not master. Set upstream. Okay, we're gonna create master because in my Java alias it's actually master, so I create master. Okay, so go. Okay, get push set upstream, get push set upstream mask, get push origin and then set upstream, I guess. Or we can put origin here. Origin, no, we have to put origin before that. Right. Origin and then set upstream. I was putting good, like literally good get. Alright, now we have the data here. We got the data here. Oh yeah, Dattanidhi. So we have our individual.json here. Now I guess the data would not change in our case, like in render. I think this thing, does the data change, like how the data would change, like in a GitHub environment. Like, let's see what happens. Alright, so I just put my email address, and now we have our email from render. Right, I just confirmed it, and go back. We're gonna log in with GitHub. Now we got it. We go to web services, and we have a connect repositories. Okay, I don't know what that, I'm not gonna go for that. I'm just gonna put this URL there. Okay, we're gonna put that same name, but in small letters. So YPK dash, we're not gonna use underscore because that's very annoying. And just Nidhi, Dattanidhi. Or I can put another dash, but that's good. Region, I'm gonna use Singapore. Branch master, root directory, and we got node, and we got npm, and we got npm server, npm run server. And it's 512 MB RAM and 0.1 CPU. Okay, we're gonna create a web service. wait. Build failed because probably the build command gonna be okay. I guess the build command gonna be here, not npm, or okay. I guess let's have a look. Okay, it should be actually npm start. This is not gonna be yarn. This is gonna be npm start, npm install, and now let's go. Look what just happened. Okay. All right, we have another. Yeah, now we're live. Here we go. So we can use actually this thing. Okay, so we can use. Okay, so when deploying our project to production, we can like I can actually change my localhost URL to this, and then we'll be good. And for now, we do not have any data like updating thing in our app, so this is gonna be perfectly fine for now. So what you're gonna do now is that we do not need this thing right now, so it's live actually, but I can stop the server, but I think it's free first of all, but still, you know, when servers are running, the environment is getting polluted, so I don't want to just use resources. But there's actually no button to stop the server. There's no option. We can delete it, but that's gonna be another problem. Okay, we can suspend. Yeah. All right. So the process is now suspended. We're not using this thing. We're gonna use our local thing, and when we're gonna deploy the app, then we're gonna use this. So I just closed all the tabs there, and now we have this one. So this one gonna run in here in this environment. We're gonna have this, and on top of that we're gonna have this thing. I'm gonna cd dot. We can actually open up code here though. Then we would have both the things, but no. Okay, code YunusPK. We're gonna open up that here. Oh, it's taking so long. Okay, here we go. Now I'm gonna cd YunusPK, or we can stay over here because we have both the things here, right? We have like both the directories here, the server and the YunusPK. So I actually have to open up the server, so I'm gonna use another tab for that. cd codes portfolio slash there's YPK server. So I'm gonna npm run server. So our server is running here. I mean, we're gonna need our npm server as well. So cd codes portfolio and YunusPK npm start. Now I have everything on here. We just launched our npm server. Now we have our tab here. So here we have our app running, and all the data is right now in this app, and our server is also running. This is the old project. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put that old project in the next desktop, because like there's too many tabs here. And okay, we have this one as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up my profile in another tab. So we have this and this. Well, we don't need this to be here, so we're gonna remove that as well. And I don't know why I'm again and again saying we. It's actually only me who's doing all the stuff. All right. So we have 3 and 4 August, and it's 4 August. All right. So now what we have is okay, it's actually 99 days right now of my continuous coding. So it's turning 100. I can see like just in just some hours it's turning 100. Yeah, it's gonna turn 100 in just some hours. Why my taskbar is not coming though? Okay, why my taskbar is not coming when I'm going all the way bottom? What is this? Okay, I don't know. What the hell is happening? I don't know. Taskbar is not coming. Like I have to press Windows to get the taskbar. Right. That's not an issue though. Okay, so now we have here everything. So we have to initialize RTK here. I guess we already have RTK. Do we? So we have a store or something. Yeah, we got a store here. We got a slice. We got a slice here. I guess we can use Axios directly here. What do we have here? So in the about slice, we have some links and some alts, and these are all my images, right? So I got this images, and then we got the paragraph here. Yeah, we can do access get here. Okay, so here we have our data. I'm gonna have db here. Okay, so we have the para, we have the image. So what we're gonna do is, should I create an array of objects here? Probably yes. We create an array of objects. Okay, array of objects for images, and the name would change to images. And should we just copy that? We can do on, I can just copy this chunk and paste it here. Now we have to just okay. We got an unwanted space over here. Alright. What I'm gonna do is, in every alt we have Yunus service can right here. So we're gonna just search we're gonna search with the quotation on, and then I'm gonna copy this, paste it here, and there's gonna be double quotations, not single quotations, and I'm gonna just replace all of them. Alright, we got it. Now we have to do this one initially, so we can do something like this, something like this, like this, or we can just press alt and do that as well, I guess. Okay, and we can just go there and do this. Okay, I don't want that. What I'm gonna do is, oh, what's happening, man? Okay, and here we go. We have the data right here. We don't need this comma, so we have all the data here. So we have the images, we have the para, or we should call it paragraph. That sounds better. Now we got this. Now what you're gonna do here is that, first of all, I'm gonna copy all of that, and I'm gonna have a backup. Okay, in slice I'm gonna create another file, new file. Okay, about slice.backup.js. We got the backup right, and now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna remove this image, not image that one, but from here I'm gonna remove all of it, the data, and do not put more than 450 characters. I'm gonna say I have to mention that. Okay, no, I have to mention that here, but this does not, like, I cannot have any comments here though. Like, what I'm gonna do in JSON, like, we cannot have comments. Don't put more than 450 characters. I guess we're gonna break. Yeah, we broke the thing. We cannot have comments here. We literally cannot put any comments here. Alright. So what I'm gonna do is, okay, I'm gonna have empty string and then a comma, because this thing is showing error. Okay, now I'm gonna remove this as well. Okay, for now I'm not removing this. I'm just gonna do something with here. Okay, so what I need is, we need Axios, right? Axios, we have to install Axios actually. Okay, we have to install Axios. npm install Axios. Just installed Axios, and now Axios, we got the Axios here. Axios dot get, and we can just put the URL, I guess, just the URL, nothing else. Yeah, so localhost colon 3003 slash about. Okay, we're getting images, right? So slash about slash widget slash images slash about slash widget is it actually slash or dot? I guess slash not gonna work here. We get empty, but if we put dot, I guess we're gonna get something. But really, like, directly putting dots here, we're only gonna have about. We're literally only gonna have about. Alright, so how to go inside that? One thing we can do is actually we can just access the about. We can just access the about, and then after that we can specify widget dot images, probably. I guess this is gonna break. This is breaking. It's compiled successfully here, but okay, we're gonna see the console. Okay, we have undefined. How did I access before? Okay, I'm gonna see one of the previous projects now. Like I was probably in the Ubuntu thing. Okay, cd codes projects. I want to see here. So we have three things here: users, albums, and images. But we do not have anything nested here. Oh, we actually, okay. Actually, what I've done is we have created API here, which have a base query, base URL, and endpoints is like these things. But we do not have anything or any API right now. Like we're not changing the data right now. So what we're doing is we're having only slices. In the slice though, we're only like this name, initial state, and that's data. Okay, and then we're using that we're actually adding all the data on components. Okay, initial state, and that's data is 0. So where do we adding the data? Probably in the app. I don't think so. I got a user list component, so I'm just go to user list. Here, yes, we have do fetch users. And what is that? Do fetch users is use thunk operator and then fetch users. And what is fetch users? Fetch users is from store, and we have a thunk operator. So okay, fetch users in store. Fetch user JS. Here we have the fetching thing, which is access.get and then just this thing. Okay, so what is happening here? I think we cannot access nested properties like that. So what you have to do is to create something like this. So I'm gonna do a fetching. I'm gonna use a component like that, and then actually in the users list, so I'm gonna close all this except only these two. Okay, so in the okay, we have fetch user and we use thunk operator. So what is use thunk operator? Use thunk operator, and that's just dispatching. Okay, but we're not using thunk. We're gonna use that API thing. But for fetching, fetch users create async thunk, and then they're doing this thing. But we're not gonna do that. I create API. So let's see, do we have any API for images API? Okay, here we go, images API. And what APIs do we have? This is mutation, this tags, this create image. Okay, we got a misspell here, but the app is working, so I'm not gonna change that because that's gonna break the app. We have delete user, delete image, and create image. Other than that, we have fetch image, and that's below.query, and query is /images params. So we have images API. So we have to install RTK here. So then we're gonna create APIs for everything. We got the store. Now in the store we're gonna have APIs, and I think we're not gonna have slices anymore. Users slice, because we do not have slice for images or albums. So APIs are actually a combination of slices and thunks, and therefore so we do not need thunks, we do not need slices, we just need APIs, right? And then we're gonna have just an index. For users we have users reducer, and for this thing we have albums API.reducer path API.reducer. So okay, I'm gonna copy that model here. We have the images API here. fetch users here. It's a thunk, so we're not gonna use thunk. We're just gonna use this API. So first we have to install React.js/toolkit, and I guess Redux.js, normal Redux, React Redux as well. Okay, so this is Ulbumi. This is Ulbumi. Always look up here. So what project I'm opening? This is Ulbumi, and here's we have our project that we're working on right now, YunusPK. So what I'm going to do here is, well, we can actually get it from here, but I'm not going to do that. And also we cannot do something like this. We have to create different, I guess, things for different, like entirely different data set for different kind of things. What you can do here is, though, when we're gonna go to about, we're gonna like fetch everything. Okay, well, we can actually have this data model. It's not a problem. We can actually have this data model. Problem is not the problem. Like right now, what we gonna need is we're gonna have to use APIs, the RTK basically. So we're gonna use RTK. How? First of all, I'm gonna just install npm install React Redux and Redux.js/toolkit. All right. Okay, we gotta put an address there. At Redux.js/toolkit. Okay, we got that installed. What happened? What happened? Did you install that? Okay, I got it installed. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna create inside the, I have a slice here, but it's gonna be of no use. I'm gonna open this index. That's gonna be important. Project section now, about section. Let it be here. We're not gonna need this, and we're not gonna need this. Okay, because it's getting complicated now, I'm just closing up things. So I'm gonna close up this data, this thing, also the landing page probably. We have only the store open. Okay, we can actually close the pages as well. So we have only the store open here, and we have index here, and we have slices here. This is the backup, this is the about slice, and we also have navigation slice. What do we have in the navigation slice is that we've got an active page here. Oh, for navigation, yes, for navigation it is important, but I think we can use slice for that. Okay, so we had Redux.js installed before. Oh, come on. Okay. Okay, we can have slice for this. because there's no backend gonna be used for this, but for about they're gonna be backend use. So I want to close this slice thing, and we're gonna create a new folder here that's gonna be APIs. Inside APIs, I'm gonna create about API. Okay, is it good naming? Let's have a look how it will name. Images API and all that. So we're gonna name it about API, not that, but about API .js. So we can just directly do what we are doing. Yes, just fetch base query, create API, import fetch base query, and create API from @React.js toolkit. Toolkit query React. Okay, toolkit, and then query React, and then faker. We don't need the in this. So I'm like const. What's the naming pattern? It's images API directly. Okay, so I do about API, and it's gonna be create API. I hope an object goes in here. Yes, an object, and that gonna have first of all reducer path and then base query. So it's gonna have a reducer path, which is gonna be a string, and that's gonna be okay for this about. And then we're gonna have base query, which is gonna be http :/ localhost 3003. Oh, base query, we're actually gonna use the fetch base query. Okay, I'm gonna cut this thing because we're gonna need that later. Fetch base query, a function which will take a object as a parameter, and the first property we're gonna have base URL, which is gonna be this string, this URL. Then we have here is a waiting function, which we're not gonna need actually here, so I'm just gonna leave it here. I'm not gonna include the comma. Then add a comma, and we're gonna have a reducer, I guess. Reducer or API is what is called endpoints will be an object, I guess. Endpoints is a function. Okay, endpoints is a function, and we're gonna call a builder here, and what we're gonna do is we're gonna return an object, and that object will contain all the APIs in every property. Okay, we're gonna return an object. We're returning an object. Inside object we're gonna have all these things. The fetch about we're gonna fetch about image, probably fetch about image. Okay, about section image, fetch about section image. This is good. And now we're gonna builder dot query, and that's another object which initially here has provide tags, which is not needed here. Actually we're gonna directly use the query thing here. And query is a okay, it's gonna be called with a parameter, but in this case it's not gonna be called with a parameter. We're gonna have an arrow function, and we're just gonna return a URL. I can see albums API. Okay, here we have like in the query we're gonna be using anything, and we're not gonna have any params as well. In YunusPK we're just gonna have URL and method, I guess. URL, that's gonna be /about where albums okay, I thought they were also about. Okay, we got URL here, and now we're gonna have method which gonna be get. Okay, what's the problem? There's some problem. Okay, it gotta have a returning thing. Return this thing. Alright, return this, and I think yeah, we gotta have a capital get. We got URL and we got get, and that returns us the okay, URL is actually /about. Okay, wait. We just fetched the about thing, but we have to fetch the images, right? This is images, but we have to fetch images. How do we gonna do? What we can do is we can just change this to fetch about data, and it's just URL which gets the about and the entire about JSON, and that can update the about state. And then I have this method of get. We do not have anything to change the about, so that's it. Now I'm gonna see in the okay, these are all APIs, and now in the bottom we have use and query. These two words gonna be used. Const export const use fetch about data query. Okay, it's gonna be equal to albums API. Here's about API, which is gonna be equal to about API, and we can also export the about API. Export about API, because future exports, I guess. Yeah, now we're gonna go to that index, stored index. And then we have the about and navigation, right? So we're gonna have this about, we're gonna change that to okay, we have to import some things here. What things? Seeing about, we're just gonna albums API. We're just gonna have the albums API, nothing else. Reducer path. So we're gonna have about API here. You're gonna import the about API here. Import about API from API is about API, and in about this thing, okay, I'm just gonna add another thing. I guess we can have, we're gonna have a this bracket and about API dot reducer path, that gonna be about API dot reducer. Okay, then we're gonna add this middleware as well. Get default middleware, return get default middleware. We're gonna concat this thing. I'm gonna copy that. Yeah, so there's some changes to do after reducer, I guess. Yeah, after reducer, and put a comma, and I'm gonna paste it here. And what we're gonna do is this gonna be an array about API, and we're not gonna have a second one. It can be not an array, but in the future we're gonna add more APIs here, so that's why I have this array. So it's middleware and get default middleware, return get default middleware, the function, and that concats this middleware. Okay, now we gotta do some exports. So we have to export everything from here as well. Alright. Okay, I'm gonna just remove this one because that's of no use now. About API, about reducer. Remove that as well. We're gonna remove that as well. And we're gonna export, use fetch about data and query from /API /about API. Okay, we have this export now. Now what we're gonna do is, well, okay, now in the about section, I guess it would be good if we get fetch all the data here. We have about API dot reducer. So about API we could have used much simpler logics here. This thing is actually making the project complicated, but anyway, in the future I can add a admin panel or something in this app, so that's a good thing. Alright, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna close that slide, navigation slides and about slides, because we don't need these things right now. So in the about API, we're getting this about thing, and here user path, the about gonna be the entire about JSON. So accessing the store gonna be basically the same, but now I have to use these APIs. Let me see how I used these APIs. Fetch albums query, we used albums query, so probably in the albums list. Okay, so just one line of code. We just import this use fetch albums query, and just we get a data error and is loading. We get data error and is loading, and just call it. Okay, so we actually get a data returned here. We actually get a data returned here, like in this page, like data.map. We do not have any initial state or something. I guess we don't. Albums API. Okay, we actually in Me. So about API. Okay, so we do not have any initial state. What we're doing is we're directly fetching it. Alright, I guess that's gonna be okay. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is in the about section, so should we like create different for about section? Okay, we can actually do this. We can create a different data set for about section and for the about page, so that when user is in the landing page, the about pages data is not loaded. Okay, so in the about section component, we're gonna use this thing. Okay, why do we have this handle click thing? Okay, well, I'm gonna remove that in next commit. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna import use fetch about data query, and I'm gonna const data error and is loading, and use fetch about query, doesn't take any parameters, and now we get the data here, right? Now we get the data here. So what we're gonna do is here we have the paragraph. Oh, so we're actually taking the paragraph in a prop. No man, we're not gonna use that. We're gonna use like data. Okay, so I'm gonna change the structure a little bit. So what we're gonna have is we're gonna have about, not about, but we're gonna have about section. We're gonna have about section, and then what about widget? We're gonna set about widget. We're gonna say about widget, and we're not gonna have this widget thing. We're just gonna have, we're not gonna have this thing. We're not gonna have this thing as well. So we only have one object here, that's about widget. And inside about widget we have paragraph and images. Okay, so what we're gonna do is we have to actually change this thing as well. This is not gonna be about, but about widget. And reducer path gonna be about widget. And I'm gonna change the API name as well, so it's about, think about it again, like we can have the about API, we can call it about API, and then we can have different endpoints here. So yeah, so the reducer path we're gonna change the name about, but then yeah, no, we can't do that. We have to about widget API. Let's change the name here as well. Fetch about data. Okay, about widget API. Okay, fetch about widget data query. Use fetch about widget data query, and about widget API. I think every name is changed here, just the file name has to be changed. About widget API.js. Yes. Now we're gonna go to index. The import has changed. Now what we're gonna do is here we have the about API. Okay, we're inputting about API, but we're gonna import about widget API, and here we're gonna have about widget API. Here also we're gonna have about widget API. In the middleware as well, we're gonna have about widget API, and here we also have already automatically changed import. So now we have about widget API. So we're gonna go to about section, and we got data error and is loading from this one. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put it in data.images. Are we getting that? So here, and then we get the images here. Okay, why images? No, you have paragraph. Come on, paragraph and image. We have right here image. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna have, okay, we shouldn't actually send all the images, right? We should just send one image. Probably in some database we can have a lot of images, but I want to send only one image. How are we gonna do that? Okay, so that's actually the backend coding, but we do not have any backend coding right now. We just have the database, so we have to do it in the front end. For now we have to do it in the front end. So it's basically the database, right? We do not have a server, so it's we have the server, but it's just the name. Like, we do not have any logic going on in the server. We just have the database, and right now what the server is doing, just sending data from the database to our front end. So we're gonna have to use the front end for everything for now. I'm going to data dot images dot, not dot, but we're gonna use any number, probably 4 or 3. Okay, we're gonna use 3 here. Or we can just create another function here, fetch image. We have to declare it, come on. Okay, fetch image, and that's gonna be data dot image 3. So why I just did that, so that whenever I open this file, I can see that I can edit it right here. So I'm gonna remove this, and we're gonna put fetch image. For alt, okay, we got the image here. Okay, let me just see the landing page here. Not the CSS, come on. This one. And about, we have like images for link. Okay, we're actually sending the link here, so I have to change that here. We're gonna have the link right away. Or I can just use that here. Okay, I can do that here. I put the image, and now fetch image dot alt. BG color gonna be BG color, border color will go border color. Let's see here. We have the BG color and border color here, so that can be here, that's not a problem. And these props are not useful right now. We're gonna change, we're gonna remove them in a cleanup commit, where we're gonna remove this as well. But right now what you have to do is, I guess everything is fine. Use fetch about query data. Not found. Okay, because it's use fetch about section data, about widget. Sorry, it's not section, it's about widget data query. And did we update the export widget data query? And in the index, I'm gonna get that. Use fetch about widget data query. Use fetch about widget data query. About widget data, fetch about widget query. We can actually change, like, we shouldn't have this data thing here. Okay, I'm just gonna see if the thing works. Images, okay, cannot destructure property images of 0 images. Okay, where are we getting the problem? Get the about widget thing here. Okay, we got images, not image, first of all. and secondly cannot destructure property images of 0. Okay, let's have a look at the about widget, which is gonna be like about. Okay, what data are we getting? First of all, let's have a look. We're not getting any console log here, do we? Nope, we're not. It says cannot destructure property, so what I'm gonna do is for now I'm not gonna have this. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna copy and paste, or command copy paste, and then I'm gonna comment out this one, and I'm gonna have just gonna have a string cannot destructure property. Cannot destructure property images of 0. Again, where are we getting the problem? In the landing page. Alright, we are getting problem here. So we do not have this images thing right now, so we're not gonna just use any state for now. Not gonna return this or this. Okay, I guess we're okay, I guess we're good now. It's not a function. Use fetch about which data query is not a function. Use fetch about widget data query. Do we have, okay, we do not have to dispatch this thing. Okay, because fetch about it, we have about data here, but we did not put about widget data. To rename this thing as well. Cannot read properties are undefined reading images. Now at least we solved something, and then we have like images, data images. Okay, let's have a look. Reading paragraph. Okay, for now we're just gonna have something here. Now we're loading, but where do I have my console log. Come on, we do not have any console. We're getting undefined. Really? So the data coming is actually okay. Probably because we didn't use await here. Probably. Let's have a look here. We're not using await here as well. In the albums API though. In the fetch things, in the query way is not using anything. And in here also we're not using await. Do we have this one? We don't need, I guess, this one, but anyways I'm gonna add that. Does that change anything? No, not at all. Okay, this thing is not found. Why? I mean, why? Okay, let's open up this. We still have, okay, so we have to restart our server here because we changed, not here but here we have changed about widget. So we have to reload our server. Okay, now we got the 3000 port here. We not get anything. Okay, and then about widget, you get everything here. Okay, now let's have a look. We get it. We got it. We got here and we got the entire thing, paragraph and images. Okay, images and paragraph. Okay, we are actually all right. Everything is actually very good. We do not need this, and we can get rid of this and this, and now we have it. We're getting this from the backend. By the way, I think the image is looking a little bit of off. Like that wasn't how the image was used to look, I guess. I'm gonna look it up in the Vercel because we have a previous version app, right? Okay, because I have had another picture, that's why it's looking different. Okay, we can have this image, or we can just change it here in the top. I can change it to 4, and that will change it to this photo. Okay, we're gonna eventually have some spinners and all that later on, but what we've just done is Eureka. Okay, so everything's looking perfectly fine now. I'm gonna just commit this thing. It's and what I'm gonna say backend. Setup, not JSON server, but setup. What did you just set up? RTK APIs, I guess. So RTK. Set up RTK with JSON server on 3003 port. RTK with JSON server on 3000 port. Okay. This commit setups the Redux.js toolkit query with a JSON server query listening to our JSON server at 3003 port. This commit also creates an API for landing/about for testing, and I'm gonna push that. Now we're gonna do some cleanups, right? So at the first I'm gonna clean that, which is an empty function. I don't know what I'm doing there. Now do we have anything unused here? We don't have this handle on click. This on click actually not needed, I guess. There's a button and it's already have this link thing, so that was not needed. Okay, now what do we have? We have these props. So image, we're not getting image, we're not getting alt, we're not getting paragraph. We're gonna come here, alt, we're not gonna have any alt. Okay, we're not gonna use this use selector as well, so use selector, no need. All right, so we just have done some cleanups, right? And it's a cleanup about what? It's a cleanup in landing. It's a cleanup in landing, comma, landing/about. Remove unnecessary things. Push that. And now what are you gonna do? Now we're gonna change the name again, like literally again. So I'm gonna do from the top, about widget API. About widget API sounds good. Fetch about widget data. Okay, we're not gonna have data at the last, so we're gonna have fetch about widget. Fetch about widget. Use fetch about widget query. And about widget API. That's good, that's good. Okay, so we're gonna have use fetch about widget query. Use fetch about widget query. We're gonna go to this thing and nothing there, but we're gonna just have this use fetch about widget query. Now we're gonna go to about section, change here, not data. Gonna have data here. We're not gonna have data here. And everything's fine, I guess. No images. Use fetch about widget query. Use fetch about widget query from store. Use fetch about widget query from this thing. We're exporting. Use fetch about widget query. This thing should work. Cannot read properties of undefined reading images. At about section, okay. We're actually not getting the data. Why we're not getting the data? Fetch about widget. Okay. Should we just I don't know what the problem is. Okay, I'm gonna again stop and run the server, because like the JSON server creates troubles sometimes, but it's again the problem, like it's unable to read images. Use fetch about widget query. That should give us a data, but we're not getting the data. We're actually getting undefined. Use fetch about widget query. Copy. Okay, what we're gonna do is we're gonna come here. We're gonna copy that. We're gonna paste that. We're gonna copy that. Fetch about widget. We're gonna paste it here, and we're gonna have a query after that. Okay, query query, and we got this. And we're gonna copy that. I'll go to this one, paste that here. About widget API. API is less about widget API. About widget API. We got the about widget API here. Create API. About widget API. About widget. Fetch about widget. Use fetch about widget query. We got about widget API here, and we're exporting about widget API as well. Index, we got about widget API in index, and we changed this as well. Okay, it definitely got changed. Like if we do this, wait, use fetch about widget query, and if we just paste it, okay, there's something changing. What's changing? There's literally nothing changing here. And eventually we're gonna go to about section, and here we're gonna change this to whatever we copied, and we're gonna change this to whatever we copied. Now we're gonna see if that works. Nope. Cannot read properties of undefined reading images. It's undefined. Why it's undefined? The 3000 port is working. What have we just changed? And where is it happening? At about section. Fetch images defined. Come on. Paragraph. Again, we're not reading the paragraph. We're not getting the data. The use fetch query. Probably we can just stop our npm server and start it again. Okay, we are actually unable to read data. Oh, come on. We're gonna have this here. Everything's working properly. Come on. We're gonna go here and about widget. We just have this about widget, and we go to about widget. We got the paragraph and this. So what's the problem? This was working when we had that data thing, but now it's broken. Why is it broken? Because should I put the data again and see what happens? This is a crazy thing that's happening. datas. Again, we're getting that problem again. So there's something happened and landing page, I guess. But just have pressed. Oh shit. Shit, man. What we had, about section, about widget API, and the index. Okay. So we're gonna have the landing page. Probably in the about slice. We're creating this about slice now. And then in the index, are you accessing that? We're not accessing that as like at all. Okay, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do this thing, not this thing, but up to this point. Now I'm gonna see. I still have the problem. Nothing happened here. I'm gonna remove the vault. Now we're about section and we're gonna do this thing. No, come on, this is not the problem at all. But it worked, and now it's not working again. We have the data now. But this is crazy problem. I don't know what the problem is happening. Like, really? Like, for real, like, JSON server is working here. We got the JSON server on localhost 3003, and we get the about widget here, and we're getting the JSON back. And here the thing is not working. And here the thing is not working. Come on, what the problem is? We got back the data, like this word data. And this is all the files that we are like working on. In about section. Okay, at first we're creating this API, right? And the API what we're creating is about widget API, That's create API, and reducer path is about widget, and base query is http://localhost 3003. Is it HTTPS by any chance? It's not secure, right? So that means it's not HTTPS, it's HTTP. If I copy that and let's say paste here, we got the HTTP here, right? So it's HTTP. It's not HTTPS, it's HTTP localhost 3003 endpoints builder, and return fetch about widget data builder.query, and the query is return URL is / about widget, right? I got about widget, yes. It's a / about widget, and the method is get, and then we are exporting that, and it's fetch about widget data, and we have use fetch about widget data query. We're gonna look it up here. What have we done? So I'm gonna see in the images API, use fetch images query, right? And that equal to images API. Then you go to index and you first of all import that, then you create this thing, then you create this middleware, and then you just export that. Use fetch images API. Here just we have a big name, but about widget API, right? Then we're exporting that as well. And here in the index we are getting that about widget API. Then having that about widget API.reducer.path, reducer path, and about widget API.reducer, and the middleware we have about widget API.middleware. Everything is proper. Then we have use fetch about widget data query from APIs about widget API. That's perfect. That's perfect. And the about section we have this, use fetch about widget data query from the store and get the data here, error, and is loading here. Okay, let's get the error if we're getting any error. We're not even getting any error. We're gonna get is loading here. It's true. So like literally it's loading. How much time it gonna take to load? Right, so what we gonna do is we're gonna create a state here. Const component sts set component loading sts set component loading sts. That gonna be use state by default it's gonna be loading gonna be true by default. Then we're gonna have a use effect. And that use effect inside that function, what you're gonna do is check if is loading is not true, then set component loading sts to false. That means a page load, right? And it gonna depend on is loading. Okay, you're gonna depend on is loading. Now what you're gonna do is we're gonna have a if statement here that's gonna be if component loading sts is true, then return loading. Why is it not working? Else return this, man. Come on, this thing's not working at all that I just created. Okay, I said it's true. Loading is true. If it's true, then show this. If it's false, then show this. So that's getting false. Okay. This const fetch data of images. This is gonna be here. Okay, so this was a problem with loading. So till now the problem that we're having was a problem of loading, like literally, because I didn't have a loading screen. I guess can we use that is loading thing? If is loading is true, then do this, otherwise do this. I guess we cannot. Let's have a look if, yeah, we can actually do that. So we do not need this entire thing, and also this state. We don't need that state. And here we're gonna, okay, we don't need this as well for now. And okay, so if it's loading, then return loading. I'm gonna set another else if and this, and we're gonna have this thing. And yeah, so if there is an error, then return. Eventually we're gonna style that as well later on. Error loading data, please check your connection. And now we're gonna have everything working properly. Okay, we have everything working properly right now. So what we have just done is GSS. We just fixed a thing, that is added loading things, and I'm gonna add fix landing / about, add loading and error checker, CHUCKER checker, add loading and error checker for RTK. And I'm just gonna push that. I think that's it for this video. Like, that's too much work that I have done. Like, not too much work, but like too much frustration that I already went through. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna end this video here, and I'm gonna come in the next video where I'm gonna refactor the datas to backend, REST datas to backends. Thank you for watching. I'm gonna see you in the next one, and thank you. Bye bye.